this time.
Wow, this is early to be streaming, right?
Yeah, it's a little early to start that, but that's okay. Marie,
Yeah.
you can get it ready and then just wait until right before 7 to start go live. But up to you,
Mhm.
Marie.
Hi, Pam.
Hey,
She's
Pam.
trying to mute her.
Oh, I can't.
Her
Yeah, I can
tab.
see. That's fine.
Anybody else?
So we should talk a little bit so that she knows if she got it
Yeah.
done or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We certainly don't
If-
hear it, but
Right. Well, it's good there. You must
Okay,
have
Marie.
gotten it. You must have gotten it, Marie. I don't hear any echo.
No, it looks good. Sounds good.
Hey,
I did it because I wanted to learn, but I sweated out every week.
I love our learning lab. I love that phrase.
Toastmasters Learning Lab. There you go. Yeah.
That came from Marie Rock. That's
I
not
like
an
it.
original. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a Marie quote.
Yeah, we go live at 7 o'clock for our meeting, but the recording starts from wherever she starts it. So we'll have 7 or 8 minutes of chit chat before in the
Right.
recording.
So you're giving me the ability to share, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
You want to
Thanks.
try it? It's always a good idea.
Oh, I think you're right. I think it is always a good idea, isn't it? All right. Ta-da. Okay. Does it have, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're right. You're right.
I'm always right. Ask Chris.
Well, I'm
You're
not
also
gonna-
having delusions of grandeur, I think.
So you should just see a blank sheet right now,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Okay, great. That's good. So I will stop the share. We're okay. Did I tell you about the time I did a speech for, I told Tom this, Broward Bilingual. And I was doing slides and everything, and I did the whole speech and I never shared my screen. And they were afraid to tell me. So here I'm talking away, having a good old time. And the sad part of it is I had the best evaluator I ever had in my life. It was a visitor to the club at that time, evaluate me. She went on to become the district winner in evaluations.
Wow.
So you can imagine how embarrassing that was. But because I'm a Toastmaster,
You've
I took
gotten
it in
over
my
it, haven't
stride
you?
and I never
can
talk
tell.
about it ever again, right? Ooh.
I love it.
Hey, Pam. It was good to see you.
Yes, it was.
Yes,
And
I'm
it's-
sorry we couldn't have stayed longer, but we had to go back to Windermere because our granddaughter was at mermaid camp over the weekends. We had to go to Windermere.
Oh,
I saw that.
Oh,
That. I
haven't
want to
been
be
to
a
Wiki
merman.
Wachee, we think probably in 30 years, so.
Yeah, I saw several of you. I was on Zoom.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
great.
Yeah.
yeah.
Pam, you were straight in the middle with Grant next to you.
Right. That's
But
what I.
Yeah.
We were with their dearest friends and they were very anxious and we got there like at 1:15, but that's
Oh.
okay. And one of the, it's couples that we camp with. And now two of the husbands have died. The other had moved to Hawaii, she and her husband. So our camping group is dwindling, but we have another one scheduled in March, and I think Christine will join us. She said she would. When we first set it up, she said, we're optimistic and we'll be there. So I think she will.
That's great.
Good.
I saw Lisa too. Lisa and her husband, Ray.
Yes.
Oh,
And I invited them to come, and Jerry and Kristen Newcomb. I said, just visit on Zoom. You don't have to join.
Right.
Just, come
Yeah.
No.
in.
To the
Yeah.
meeting,
And
Yeah.
because I mentioned coming to the meeting to Lisa also. And then she said that she said that she wanted to. And I said, well, would you like a reminder? And she said, oh yeah, great. And of course I forgot all about it.
Listen, she said that to me when I first told her, and I sent her the reminders, and she never showed up. So I
Okay.
stopped.
You know,
Okay.
I
wouldn't feel
kind of get the
guilty.
feeling
Same as
that she
Astrid and
joined
same as
another group.
several.
I kind of get the idea. I think that there was, some people just detest Zoom. They don't like it.
Right.
I don't know why. I think it's a wonderful thing.
Oh,
I mean,
man,
I
is it-
think it's wonderful because
I know,
you're
me
here,
too.
Alita.
Well,
Yes.
thanks, Mary Helen. Yeah, because I couldn't otherwise be there.
Mhm.
And
Me
I mean,
neither.
now all of you who know
Oh,
me,
Yes.
you surely realize by now that I am an in-person, touchy-feely kind of person. I love to be right there.
Right.
But since I can't be a lot of places, I think Zoom is wonderful.
Mhm, mhm.
We
I
would
do
never
too.
see Jose
Right.
or Pam.
I
Or
know.
Pam, or Val,
Or
who's
Val.
in Georgia.
Jose got his new Jimny, whatever it's called, Suzuki
power.
Jimny yesterday.
Oh, he did.
I'll
Yeah.
send you guys pictures. He sent
Oh.
pictures. He's like, yeah.
Oh,
And his
Yeah.
daughter's been there. She's flying back today, so forth. So that's why I don't think he could make it today.
oh,
But
he said he
yeah,
wasn't gonna make it.
yeah.
I talked to Carmine and he said he's in regular contact with you, Anna.
Yeah, he
But
is.
Carmine is in Oklahoma now,
Yeah.
near Oklahoma City.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's
Yeah.
doubtful that because of the time difference that he's gonna be at meetings very much if he's traveling west.
Yeah, because it'll be even earlier.
We know all about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at Paulo's picture with the flag.
Very
Good
nice.
morning.
That
Good
looks
morning,
great, though. A
everybody.
lot of energy because he's in front of the flag and the whole thing. He really knows how to set himself up
And his
well.
gestures.
Yes, he does.
He does. Of course, he doesn't know
been-
we're talking about him because he's not listening at all.
Yes, he
I
is.
just, in fact,
Oh,
Yeah, I am.
I have the
Good
same
morning.
question.
Okay,
Yeah.
Paolo,
Oh,
here we go.
if we are recording the meeting, does, as I assume we are, or no, I guess, yeah, we are recording now. It's just,
Yeah.
is the chat recorded?
No, you have to
Reserved.
record your own chat.
Okay, so the overall chat, even to the group, is not preserved. So if we want that information, we have to jot it down or write it down or somehow record it. Okay, good to
I
know.
think it might be saved to Marie's computer when she closes the meeting, but I'm not positive. When I was running the meetings, the chat was saved, but just my chat. So,
Oh.
Okay, so I
And-
couldn't go back and find
you know
old
how to?
chats.
Do you know how to do that? You
Mhm.
can
I'm not sure I
down
even
on the
want
bottom
to.
of the chat where you would type. There's three dots, and one of the choices, if you click on the three dots, is save chat.
Yeah, mine is, but my question was like, if we had old meetings, we wanted to see the chat, because sometimes there's chat that I should have written that down. It's gone.
Yes.
Possibly it's available, but not normally. No.
Good morning. It's 7:00. Good morning, early birds. It's 7:00 and let's get this meeting started. I'm your Sergeant at Arms, and the mission of a Toastmasters Club is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every member has the opportunity to develop communication and leadership skills that foster self-confidence and personal growth. These meetings are recorded for our members. Early Bird Toastmasters may also use these recordings for club promotions. It's important for everyone to practice good Zoom etiquette. Please keep your microphone muted unless you are actively involved in the conversation, and remember to unmute yourself to speak. We want to see you, so keep your camera turned on during the meeting unless you do not wish to participate. Be aware that the camera sees everything. Use the chat. You can chat privately or with everyone. Now help me to welcome our President, Toastmaster, Randolph Bastine.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Early Birds Toastmaster meeting, the peak of the week. And thank you all for coming and showing up. And today, I believe our invocation will be by Toastmaster Anna Ilsen.
Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters, This invocation is in the Christian tradition. Dear God, I trust in you with all my heart. Help me not to lean on my own understanding, but to acknowledge you in everything. Make my path straight. Amen. Please face the flag for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr.
Thank you.
President.
Thank you. Thank you. And our joke of the day will be by myself, Toastmaster Randolph Bastine. I'm not sure if you all heard of the Christian that lost his way, went on a nature trail, and he gave up on everything, all believing in anything, and he just believed that, you know, Earth did its own thing. So as he was going on a nature trail, he just was observing everything. He said, "Oh, what a beautiful rock." It didn't take some imaginary being to make this. Then he passed by the tree. "Oh, what a beautiful tree." It doesn't take anything special or imaginary to make this. And then as he's passing by, "Oh, hello, squirrel. Hello, how you doing?" And just as he passed the squirrel, he sees a bear just staring him down, and he says, "Whoa." And as he edged back, he didn't want to speak to the bear started coming closer to him. And as he sees that, he starts to take off, and the bear is chasing him. And as the bear is chasing him, he starts to, I guess, all of a sudden think about a God again. And he says, God, okay, all right, if you can stop this bear for helping, like, from eating me and just terrorizing, turn this bear into a Christian, I will serve you. So the bear all of a sudden attacks him, jump on him. And then he said, God, please, if you stop this bear and turn this bear into a Christian, I'll serve you. The bear bows his head, put his hands together, and he says, thank you, God, for this food that I'm about to eat. Thank you. And now for the grammarian of today, it's Toastmaster Val Cray.
Good morning, Mr. President and fellow Toastmasters. The word for the day is impeccable.
Impeccable. Impeccable.
Okay. Impeccable is an adjective, and it relates to behavior, performance, or appearance in accordance with the highest standards of propriety. It's faultless. There are no problems and no bad parts. A sample of its usage is, his English is impeccable.
Thank you. Let's please try and use the word impeccable in our introductions today. And the first for introductions today would be Distinguished Toastmaster Jim Day.
Good morning, Mr. President and fellow Toastmasters. Today I will be your timer. Hopefully, I will do an impeccable job in watching my stopwatch and putting the right color up at the right time. Mr. President.
Yes, thank you. Next up, we will have Toastmaster Marie Rock.
Good morning, Mr. President Bastine, fellow Toastmasters. My name is Marie Rock, Visionary Communicator 5, Strategic Relationships 2. I know that there is no way that my Pathways experience will ever be impeccable. I just go with the flow. Mr. President.
Thank you. Next, Toastmaster Tom Quinn.
Good morning, early birds. Good morning. It's the peak of the week, and Paulo is here. What an impeccable group. Flawless performance. Thank you so much, Mr. President.
Thank you. Next, Toastmaster Jim Gould. You're muted.
There we go. Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters. One of these days I'll figure out these mute buttons and we'll all be a lot happier. I am Toastmaster Jim Gould. I'll be your table topics master, so be at your impeccable best. Mr. President.
Thank you. Next up is Toastmaster Chris Gould.
Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters, I am PM5EH2, I think, Chris Gould. And I always look forward to coming to these meetings because they are so impeccable. I know exactly what to expect in the structure of the meeting, the timing. I know that it's going to start at 7 o'clock. I know it's going to be finished by 8:30. I know exactly what to expect. And within that structure, there is such creativity and freedom within the group that I never know what to expect. So it's an impeccable group, Mr. President.
Yes. Next up is Toastmaster Alita Richmond.
Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters, as you can see, I'm outside and this is my impeccable yard because I work so hard. I have green thumbs and green fingernails from working outside so much. I love it. I want you to know that I just completed level 5 of engaging humor. I still have to complete the path on that. And that will give me 3 pathways since I started with you 2.5 years ago. Looking forward to the next. I'm open to suggestions for which path might be good. Back to you.
Thank you. Next up will be Distinguished Toastmaster Mary Helen Day.
Yes, good morning, Mr. President and fellow Toastmasters. My name is Mary Helen Day, and wow, to use impeccable. I think that I just put that on the altar of whatever I would like to be, but no, I am not. So I'm going to appreciate all the impeccable abilities of the people here in this room today. Mr. President.
Thank you. Next up is Toastmaster Anna Ilsen.
Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters, my name is Anna Ilsen. I'm an IP3, EH3. Out of all of our first ladies, the one who dressed in a most impeccable fashion was Jackie Kennedy, in my opinion. Mr. President.
Thank you. Next up, we have Toastmaster Pam Scrimshire.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Good morning, my fellow Toastmasters. I am Pam Scrimshire from Windermere, Florida. Engaging Humor 3, Motivational Strategy, Level 4. Impeccable. Well, I am absolutely delighted to learn that according to the New York Times, when I go to my granddaughter's wedding over Labor Day weekend, sneakers are now impeccable, and I will be wearing my new rose gold colored sneakers rather than stilettos. The world is getting Mr. President.
Thank you. Next up is Toastmaster Val Cray.
Good morning again, Mr. President and fellow Toastmasters. I am Val Cray from Macon, Georgia. And I love this meeting because we're all trying to be impeccable with our words.
Yes. And next up is Toastmaster Paolo Barone.
Buongiorno. Good morning, Mr. President and my fellow early birds Toastmasters. I'm so happy to be with all of you right here at the peak of the week around the summit. My name is Paolo Barone. I'm lost in the pathway, but I am a CC competent communicator according to the old, you remember those old manual? Yes, I'm a CC. And I want to say hi to my family that is watching on YouTube live streaming right there in Italy. Ciao Marilena, ciao Sofia, ciao Nino, ciao Carmelo, ciao Gino, ciao Stella, ciao Sara. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you. And we also have Toastmaster Becky Jo Bean.
Good morning, Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters. I'm Toastmaster Becky Jo Bean. and my timing is impeccable.
Yes, it is. That was awesome. And I am Toastmaster Randolph Bastine. I am Motivational Strategies Level 2 from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And I'm looking forward to another impeccable meeting as we usually do. And also, let's also take this meeting through the whole week to have an impeccable week. And now, if you all can help me turn the meeting over to our Toastmaster of the day, Paulo Barone.
On the board! There's a train rolling. Here it is, just down the hill. Destination, success. Name, Toastmasters. Main station, Earlybird Toastmasters, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters is indeed a train to success. Because being able to communicate effectively, being able to impact people's lives with your words is a great way to success. And that's what we do here at Toastmasters. We learn, we practice how to become competent, effective communicators. That's what we do. And today, I have the privilege to be the conductor of this amazing train. Are you ready to ride with me this train? All right, welcome on board. The structure of the meeting is the same like in every Toastmaster club in the world. Includes 3 different components. The first one is the so-called table topics session, where we learn and practice our impromptu speaking skills, how to speak off the cuff, without preparation, how to think on our feet. And that's a very valuable skill to have. To be able to say something anywhere, in any situation, with no preparation is a priceless skill to have. That's what we learn in this session. The second session is the prepared speeches, where we have Toastmasters, today 2, they've been crafting, practicing, preparing those speeches. Today, they're going to deliver those speeches on the virtual stage. We have 2 amazing speakers. Look forward to those speeches. The third component of the meeting, very important, evaluations. And this part is really what differentiates a Toastmasters meeting from a meeting with a lot of people talking to each other. That's what makes the difference. The valuable, instant, immediate feedback the speakers receive right away from the assigned evaluators. But let's keep one thing in mind.
Speaking, so you're not calling.
Here at Toastmasters, we are all evaluators. Therefore, don't hesitate to send a note in the chat, in the private chat. If you like something about a speaker, or if you see some room for improvement, send notes. That's how we improve and we grow as a Toastmaster, with the feedback. And also, we cover every angle of a meeting here at Toastmasters, 360 degrees. And for that, we have functionaries that volunteered to cover specific aspect of the meeting, starting with a very important role of the timer. It's a train, so we have to make sure the train arrives and leaves on time. And we need someone to keep the track of time in order to keep us on track. And today, that important role is covered by Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Jim Day. Would you please describe your role as a timer?
As a timer for today's sessions, at the beginning of each segment and each speech, I will announce the timing requirements for that section and then give a report at the end of that section to see if everyone has qualified or not.
Thank you, DTMD. Another important role, the functionary in charge of collecting verbal trash. You know all those filler words. Today is the lady from Pennsylvania, the beautiful yard Toastmaster Alita Richmond. Please describe your role as an accountant.
Yes, greetings, Mr. Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters. The purpose of the counter is to note words and sounds that are used as a crutch or a pause filler by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, and you know. I will also listen for filler words, including and and I'll note if I can when when the speaker repeats a word or a phrase like I, or this means. I am expecting an impeccable use of words today, and I'll report the number of offenses at the end of the meeting, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Richmond. Yes, resist the temptation to use those filler words. Don't use it. Use pause instead. Get comfortable with your own silence. Don't be afraid of it. Pause. Next role, let's bring to the virtual stage Madame Grammaria. Madame Grammaria, Toastmaster Belgrade, would you please describe your role as a Grammaria of the day?
Yes, Mr. Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters, the grammarian arrives with the word of the day and introduces it when asked by the presiding officer. And the word of the day is impeccable. The grammarian will note the use of good language, naming the member and the example. Incorrect grammar will be noted without reference to the member. The best grammar trophy will be presented to the person who uses correct and or lively language during any part of the meeting. We do not rewrite speeches nor enter into areas of crutch words. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gray. Yes, impeccable. One more word to add to our collection of words. And the more words we know, the better it is. Imagine a painter. The more colors the painter has on his palette, the more able he is to create a masterpiece. The more words we know, the more able we are to create masterpieces, speech. All right, impeccable. Let's have an impeccable meeting today. Without further ado, let's move to the first session, the table topics. And today, the functionary that is going to lead us through this session is Toastmaster Jim Gold. Let's welcome with a huge round of applause to the virtual stage, Toastmaster Jim Gold. Take it away.
Thank you, Toastmaster Paolo Barone. It's wonderful to be here. Table topics is the first part of our meeting, and it's sort of like the train that Paolo was talking about, but you know, sometimes people get on the wrong train. Sometimes that train is still going to the right place, but you're never sure when you're on a train, especially in Italy. I've noticed this. Ask me how I know. So, table topics gives our members a chance, those who are not speaking on the regular schedule here. So, our regular speakers would not normally be called upon to do table topics, nor our evaluators, and I don't like to call on the timer because it's very confusing with all of those buttons and lights and trying to keep that straight. So everyone else is fair game. Mr. Timer, tell us about the timing requirements for table topics, please.
Thank you, Mr. Topic Master. The timing requirements are 1 to 2 minutes with a 30-second deviation only at the end. At 1 minute, I will turn on the green screen. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, the yellow. And at 2 minutes, I will turn on the red. At 2 minutes and 45 seconds, I will begin to get everybody's attention by changing all of the colors. Mr. Topic Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Day. Okay, so I've put together some things, either ors, for our contestants this morning. And I'm going to start out with, would you rather end hunger or end hatred? Toastmaster Marie Rock.
Toastmaster Jim Gould and fellow Toastmasters, I like this either or. It has a quality of finality. Okay, if I choose one, then that's it. I remember being in Italy and sending a picture to my friend of the beautiful cheese table that was presented at breakfast time, because she was one of these persons who said she would rather have cheese than chocolate. And I sent her a picture, not realizing it was probably about 2 o'clock in the morning. But your question is more significant. Would I rather end hunger or hate? Well, of course, I'd rather end hate. If we love people, everything else works out, no matter what it is. So if we love people, we'll feed them. If we love people, we won't be so greedy and think that we need so many things while so many others are suffering and don't have enough, while the top percent can continue to stockpile resources, while so many, especially if you look at the films from Madagascar and even places in our own country where people are suffering and hungry. If we had a world that was filled with love, there would be no hunger. So what the world needs now is love, sweet love. Toastmaster Jim Gould.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rock. Would you rather be on a broken ski lift or on a broken elevator? Toastmaster Anna Ilsen.
Mr. Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, I have been on a temporarily broken ski lift. Many years ago, I started skiing when I met my current husband. And I was never a good skier. I was always a fair weather skier. I'm a Cuban to the marrow. So conditions have to be perfect for me to venture out on those slopes. That equipment is so heavy. But to your question, I have been sitting on ski lifts that have been suspended in midair and just sat there and enjoyed the view. Thank God I don't suffer from that kind of vertigo, altitude vertigo. But I would rather be in a broken ski lift than in a broken elevator. I am not claustrophobic either, but I think I would become claustrophobic quite rapidly in an elevator, especially if there's other people in it and we're packed like sardines in a can. So yes, definitely the ski lift. And I have also jumped from a ski lift because I was too afraid that it would keep going with me on it. And I jumped prematurely, but luckily I didn't hurt myself. There's been all kinds of ski adventures. Maybe I'll give a speech about it one day. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics.
I want to hear that speech. That had to be a good one. Okay. Would you rather be Batman or Spider-Man? Toastmaster Paolo Barone, unmute.
Would I rather be Batman or Spider-Man? Mr. Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, Batman or Spider-Man? I would like to be both, if possible. Why picking one? There are amazing things about Spider-Man and amazing things about Batman. Can you imagine the combination of the two? Spider-Man, then all of a sudden it goes in the Batmobile, and this Batman all of a sudden goes flying with the net. Wow, that would be amazing. Spider-Man or Batman. But if I really had to pick one, I would have to base my choice on the appearance. Batman, too dark. Black car, black outfit, black everything. It's not that inviting. Spider-Man, on the other hand, colorful, red, blue. It's much brighter, much more inviting. Therefore, if I had to pick one, I would definitely pick Spider-Man. He comes across funnier, more friendly. Even if Batman, I'm sure, is as powerful as Spider-Man, still comes across too dark, always in a bad mood. I don't know. I want to see light, brightness in my life. I want to wear the Spider-Man outfit and boom, yes, definitely Spider-Man. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Barone. Okay, let's see. What's worse, or would you rather lose your keys or lose your cell phone? Toastmaster Val Cray.
Mr. Topic Master, would I rather lose my keys or my cell phone? I would rather lose my keys. If I have my cell phone, I can then access my car, I can access my alarm, and I can figure out a way to get new keys. But if I lose my cell phone, I have lost all my contacts. I have lost all my pictures. I have lost notes. I have lost so much that I would not be able to recreate. It would be such a challenge trying to recreate everything that's on my phone because I'm not one of those diligent ones that always takes time to sit down and back it up like I should. Sometimes my phone will even give me an alert saying, it's time to back up your phone. It's time to save your information. My keys don't do that. So if I had to choose, I would definitely prefer to lose my keys rather than my cell phone. Thank you, Mr. Topic Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Cray. I think what you said is very prescient. But I'm sure Toastmaster Chris Gould will be happy to spend a little bit of time and show you how easy it is to back up your phone and have all that stuff. If you lose your phone, you don't have to lose everything. You just get a new phone, put in your account, and everything comes back. It's like magic. Would you rather have X-ray vision or super hearing? Toastmaster Becky Jo Bean.
Would I rather have X-ray vision or super hearing? Ooh, I can't have both. It's an either or. I think I would rather be invisible. I think that's what I would like to have. I would rather be invisible. That's actually my childhood wish. My childhood wish is to be invisible because I'm thinking then you can hear everything that's going on and then you can see everything that's going on. And that would be really remarkable. There is an advantage to X-ray vision though, if you're looking for gold. So if you're looking for gold, I think the advantage is you can see it in the suitcases. You can see it anywhere. I could actually get a job at the airport working for the customs. I could be one of these guys at customs that gets the people that are bringing in things illegally. We could do away with the dogs if I had X-ray vision. And if I had super hearing, I could sit in on all the corporate boards and I would be able to know what stock to buy and what stock to dump. I don't know, they all have an advantage. But at the end of the day, I would choose to be invisible. Mr. Topic Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bean. I think we have time for one more. Spontaneous or the opposite of spontaneous, whatever that might be. Toastmaster Alita Richmond.
Fellow Toastmasters, Mr. Topic Master, I was being spontaneous this morning when I decided to set this table up right outside my garage so you could see all my impeccable yard. I never gave it a thought that the sun is rising in the east and it is blinding me on this side and I can't even see the screen. But spontaneous or the opposite, well, good golly. I guess I am spontaneous. Maybe the opposite might be good for a time to like stop and suffer maybe from that analysis paralysis that some people do, but I like being spontaneous. I like kind of being prepared generally for whatever may happen, so that when the time comes and the opportunity is there, I can just jump on it and do it. I like being spontaneous, so I wouldn't want to be any other way. I recommend it highly. Back to you, Mr. Topic Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Richmond. That's about it. Toastmaster Day, how did our speakers do this morning?
Mr. Topic Master, all of our speakers qualified. Marie, 1 minute 54. Anna, 1 minute 36. Paulo, 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Val, 1 minute 17. Becky Jo Bean, 1 minute 24. And Alita, 1 minute and 14 seconds.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mr. Timer. Now, I think we should vote on your choice of the best table topics speaker this morning. Marie, did you want to put the polls up or you want me to?
Please put them up.
Okay, it's really complicated, so I'll do that for you. Go ahead and vote for your choice of the best table topics speaker. And I'll now return control of this Zoom meeting to our Toastmaster, Paolo Baroni.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gold, for the impeccable table topics session. It's now time for a short break. Refresh yourself, rest a little bit. I want you back here in a few minutes. I want you to pay full attention to the speakers. They've been working very hard to prepare those speeches. Therefore, they deserve our full attention. See you in, how much time do we have? 3 minutes, 5 minutes? Mr. Timer?
I will set the time for 3 minutes.
3 minutes, perfect. See you all in 3 minutes. Thank you.
Jim, are you sending that to Paulo?
The polls, is that?
Yes.
Yeah, I will. I'll let him know who the winners are. If he's
Thank-
looking at, as long as he's looking at his chat, I think we can do it.
All right, thank you. This
Thank-
is a skill I need to
thank you,
work
Jim.
on.
Yes. You send, yeah, you said private, right, in the chat to you. I like the music. Ooh.
Pam, are you going to be my evaluator?
I was told I was going to be Chris.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Mr. General Evaluator was very on task.
Who's Mr. Evaluator, General Evaluator today?
We got the
Tom
foggy
Quinn.
guy from
Tom.
Chicago.
We're
Okay.
at back. We're getting to where we do things ahead of time.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
People put stuff
Okay.
up on the website. I mean, it's a brave new world out there.
This is
Boy, it
dangerous.
is.
We're starting to set a precedent.
Oh, okay, so it must be Randolph is my evaluator, I guess, right?
Correct.
All right, cool.
He was
Right.
told. He was told. We got that information yesterday.
And I put
You
my
got your stuff on-
information, oh, and the Toastmaster, Paulo, I have my information is on the
The
website.
website?
Yes, yes, I got it. got
Okay,
it.
great, Paulo.
I guess, is Chris going first then?
Chris is first, correct?
Correct.
Don't
I'll
know?
change my name.
Correct. Yes.
Oh, yes.
As it is written, so it shall be.
Wow, we love that. I love the music too. Is Jim Gould in charge of the music? Yes, he is. Oh, my
Yeah,
goodness.
I guess so. Why
So
not?
when do you guys head to England?
We're leaving next week, probably right after the meeting, for
Okay.
New Jersey. Oops, time.
Oh, wow. The old fashioned way.
3 minutes.
Old fashioned way. Okay, we love it.
Thank you, Mr. Timer. Welcome back, my fellow Toastmasters. It's now time for the prepared speeches. Our first speaker is Toastmaster Chris Gould.
Timing
Yes,
requirements.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Timer. Please go ahead with the time requirements.
The timing requirements for both speeches today, there are 5 to 7 minutes. At 5, which allows a 30-second deviation both at the beginning and the end. At 5 minutes, I will turn on the green. At 6 minutes, the yellow. And at 7 minutes, I will turn on the red. At 7 minutes 45, I will begin this crazy flashing to let you know it's too late. Sit down and be quiet.
Thank you.
Mr. Toastman.
And this is for both speakers, correct?
That is correct. Both speakers are 5 to 7 minutes.
Thank you, DTM Day, Mr. Timer. Thank you. Chris Gould, her speech is from the engaging humor pathway. Toastmaster Chris Gould has been teaching technology since 1983. Today, she wants to teach you how to make a photo rather than take a photo. The title of the speech, I didn't take the photo. I didn't take the photo. Toastmaster Chris Gould. Take it away.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, Ansel Adams a famous photographer from the early 1900s, is quoted as saying, "You don't take a picture, you make a picture." Now, he was referring to the skills of the photographer. He never knew digital photography like we do today. But I say that quote is exactly appropriate for learning how to edit your pictures. I am nowhere near a professional photographer. I don't care to be, but I do love having pictures of my memories. And yeah, I like it when people look at my photos and say, wow. Let me show you a couple of my photos. And I just wonder how many of you want to say, wow, to that picture of Fort Lauderdale Beach, or this one of the Pantheon in Rome, or this one of a New York City skyline. But you know what? And this one of the Tetons. I didn't take that picture. This is the picture I took. Nowhere near as nice. And it just takes a couple of tweaks to turn that picture that I took into that picture. What do I use? I use a program called Snapseed for that. Yes, you probably expected me to say Google Photos, and Google Photos can do a bunch of this, but Snapseed adds that je ne sais quoi of the beauty. I call it beautifying. So let me show you how it's done. And this program is called Snapseed. It's a free app for either iOS, iPhones, iPads, or Android, Samsung phones. It's totally free. I'm going to show it to you on my iPad just because it's a bit of a bigger screen. So it's this little leaf. This little green leaf down here represents Snapseed. I open it up. I want to get a photo, and I'm going to get that photo of the Tetons. So there is the photo I took. All I have to do is tap on Tools. There's a ton of tools, but the best ones are right under the first button called Tune Image. Once I'm in the tool, now I can just use my finger to rub up and down and see the different choices I have in that tool. And there's this one called Ambiance, which is basically beautify. Just take this dull picture, and how you do it is you rub your finger left and right. So I rub to the right and see how it just beautifies it. It gives you more detail in the shadowy trees in front, and it gives you a darker blue sky. So something that can't be done with most normal. But I'm going to add one more thing to it. So I say, I like that picture. I tap the check mark. Now I'll go back into Tools and go to the second tool, Details. And I'm going to rub to the right on that one and see how that even makes it pop out so you can see every crevice in those mountains. And lastly, I'm going to add a special feature and make the river bluer. Tools, and I have to do that with the brush because it doesn't affect the whole picture, just the river. And it's called Temperature. I'm going to make the temperature cooler, which means blue. And I just rub on the river. Is that cool or what? And I say, I like that. Now, if I want to say, well, what did my original look like? Did I really make this picture better? Long press on the picture. There's my original. Let go. There is the edited one. And it was easy. It is so easy. And I am done with that one. I will export it. And I'm going to go get another one. So I'm going to open. And now I want to show you some special stuff that it does. Or let me do one more. I'm going to go to the Pantheon in Rome. Notice how dark everything is. Tools, Tune Image, rub up and down to see your choices, and shadows. I want to get more detail in the shadows. I rub right, and now I can see into the shadows. I'm also going to do an ambiance. I like doing that on every picture. Rub to the right. Wow. Wow. Okay. And export that one. And lastly, I want to show you something that it can do with faces. So I picked this. If you are a woman of a certain age, like me, you want to be able to kind of smooth out those wrinkles. Yes, I earned every one of those, but it doesn't mean that I want them in a photo. So I tap Tools and Portrait. Rub up and down, skin smoothing. Rub to the right and see how it just smooths it. And then there's one other little fun thing, and that is smile. I can make my smile bigger. That's with head pose and choose smile and rub to the right. It's a little funky, but sometimes it really makes a nice smile on a photo. So take a lot of pictures, find your best ones, and then make them better. You'll love it when your friends go, wow, and you can make them smile. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gold, for teaching us how to make a picture rather than to take a picture. Wow, I'm going to try that today, right after the meeting. Seems so easy to use. Wow, amazing change. Thank you. Our next speaker is a distinguished Toastmaster, Mary Helen Day. Her speech is from the Dynamic Leadership Pathway. Level 3, Inspire Your Audience. DTM Mary Ellen Day has been a member of Toastmasters for many years. Initially, she joined the Toastmasters to become a more proficient public speaker. Then she has continued her membership when she understood that Toastmasters could be also a path to creativity and self-realization. The title of her speech, this is a public announcement. This is a public announcement, DTM Mary Ellen Day.
Is this a public announcement or am I speaking to the choir? Originally, when I joined Toastmasters, I was involved in a network marketing group. Now, most of you have been exposed to network marketing because someone had asked you to see what their business was. But I got to tell you a little story about network marketing. And we used to make a joke about this. Is a man died and he went to see St. Peter. And St. Peter said, oh, do you want to go to hell or do you want to go to heaven? And the guy says, well, I'm not sure. I got to see both. Let me see both before I make that important decision. So first of all, St. Peter took the man to heaven. And in heaven, where there were angels flying around, there were harps. It was very tranquil, birds chirping, not much going on. So the man thought, I don't know, this is a little boring. Take me down to hell. Let's see what that's all about. So St. Peter lifted him down to hell. And there was a bunch of very, very attractive people laughing, having party, having drinks, telling jokes. Everyone was having a great time, and he had a great time when he was there. He went back up to St. Peter, and St. Peter said, have you made your decision? And the man said, well, of course I made the decision. Heaven is so boring. Send me back to hell. That's where the action is. So St. Peter sent the man back to hell. And when he arrived, there was the devil, all dressed up in his red suit and his pitchfork. And he had a shovel in his hand. He said, okay, start shoveling coal, get into the fire. And man said, what happened? What happened? Everyone would look so good. They were having fun. They were having a real party. what happened? He said, well, that was just the business opportunity meeting. So what is our business opportunity meeting in Toastmasters? Well, our business opportunity meeting is how and what do we do now after going through a loss, which we've just experienced. We have to make a decision in our minds, how are we going to proceed? Before it was simple. There was a conductor leading us down the road. We didn't have to worry about anything. All we had to do was sign in, tune in on Thursday morning, and everything was ready. All we had to do was do a speech once in a while, maybe an evaluation, little table topics, get ready, be a team person. But there was always someone who was taking care of the behind the sceneries mechanisms of Toastmasters. Why are we here? Were we here because someone invited us? I came to Toastmasters because someone invited me. There are a few of you that might have showed up because you just knew that you had to be better at speaking. And then there's some of you that came because a partner was here. Well, that was my dear husband. He wanted to see what that was all about. So all of us came to Toastmasters for different reasons, but I think in the back of our minds, it was, hey, I could become a better communicator. So where does that leave us? Those of us who have been here for so long. I remember someone saying to me, well, why are you still there? Haven't you learned what they had to teach you yet? And the answer really to that is no. I haven't learned everything that they have to teach me in Toastmasters, because now it's a do-it-yourself proposition. It isn't just everything they have in the manuals, books, or online for us to learn about public speaking. I learned through the years, as I said in my introduction, that this could be a vehicle, a tool for me for creativity. Why? I can think about what's going on in my life, and I have people I can share that to. And the beauty of that, nobody's going to interrupt me for at least 5 to 7 minutes. I can just go on and on all about that. Can I help other people when they come into Toastmasters? Absolutely. And that becomes a very rewarding part of our mission here today, because when I see new people and I see how far they've come, it's exciting to me because it makes me realize that this is a really a great place for people to come and to grow it as individuals here. So what do we do here? Are we going to be here for the long haul? Is this going to be a special place for all of us? Many of us have been together for so many years, but we also have these wonderful, wonderful newer people on board that also mean so much to us. And every new person that comes here and commits to Earlybird Toastmasters means a lot to me as well, because that's someone that's going to help me be a better person. We've just been through a terrible loss. This is my public message to you. What are we going to do? Are we going to invite people to come and join us? Or are we going to just let it die by natural attrition? How does it die by natural attrition? Well, people die. And then others move. And then others say, well, listen, I have to move on now. It really served its purpose. That's attrition. And how do we prevent that? Well, we invite new people in. Toastmaster Anna Ilsen is an expert at doing this. She's brought in many, many members over the years because she's not afraid to share something that's been beneficial to her, could be beneficial to other people. I would like to urge all of you here, and this is my public message today, to maybe think about that person that maybe not, they might like Toastmasters. Oh, we don't know if they will or not. I think the critical question to ask them is, are you a morning person? Can you get up in time to come to the meetings? To me, that's the number one critical question. But also the other thing is, do you want to keep your mind active? Are you a little bit older, but you don't have that sense of purpose? Or are you in the middle of a career and you know that you could brush up your communication skills? This is a place for everybody. We are, as the dynamic, a little bit older here, but I know a lot of people just like me, and I think you do too. One of those people were Tom Quinn. I could see this was a very intelligent man that might benefit from being amongst us others that are so excited about extending our life enthusiasm and extending our creativity here in a place that is not only secure and welcoming, but is a real safe place to practice out our thoughts, practice out our behaviors, and practice out our friendships with one another. I hope that you all can continue to be friends with me here in Earlybird Toastmasters. I would just think that maybe my next speech is all going to be about how to recruit effectively in Earlybird Toastmasters. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, DTM Day. Excellent speech. And as far as I'm concerned, that I'm here to stay. Unfortunately, I'm a very morning person, really morning. And when I'm in Italy, it's 1 p.m. in the middle of the day, and it's different. But I'm here to stay. I'm going to try to attend as much as possible. Now the temperature hopefully is coming down there, so maybe it's a little bit comfortable in the middle of the day. But I'm definitely here to stay. All right, let's move to the third component of the meeting.
Timing.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Timer, DTM Day. Did everybody qualify?
Both of our speakers qualified. Chris Gould at 6 minutes, 41 seconds. Mary Helen Day at 7 minutes and 10 seconds. Please vote.
Thank you, Mr. Timer. My apologies for keeping neglecting you. All right, let's vote for the best speaker. All right, submit. All right, I did my duty. Perfect. Let's move to the third component, evaluations. Today, the functionary, the Toastmaster, is going to lead us this important session in none other than Toastmaster Tom Quinn. Please.
It's the peak of the week, And here we are, the most important part, in my opinion, of the meeting. And it is difficult to do table topics to prepare and to do the speeches. And they were, God knows, they were really wonderful. But this is where we learn and compare what someone else thinks of a speech. And you can compare what you think of it. And it's really great. Two wonderful speakers today. Wow. I don't know how we can keep this up. It's just tremendous. But I'd like to know, excuse me, I'd like to know the timing requirements. Mr. Timer, what is the time for our evaluators?
The timing for evaluation is 2 to 3 minutes with a 30-second deviation at both the beginning and the end. At 2 minutes, the green light will come on. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, the yellow, and at 3 minutes, the red will come on. Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Timer. Evaluating our first speaker, Chris Gould, is Pam Scrimford. Pam.
Thank you very much, Mr. General Evaluator. And thank you, Chris Gould, for teaching us how to make our photographs better. I am a granddaughter of a professional photographer, and he spent hours doing that in the black room, in the dark room. And the reason I know that is because when he died, and then his wife died, my grandmother, and then my mother died, we came up with boxes and boxes and boxes of photographs with just a little darker, a little lighter. Most of these were black and white because he was pre-color and for a lot of his stuff, but just a little tweak. And if you have that kind of eye, you can really, really, really see the difference. Now, I don't have that kind of eye. And so frankly, we pitched most of those photographs, but it is amazing what one can do with just a little. And you taught us that this morning. And this is what you excel at. And for those of you that haven't gone online and used the online forms, I recommend it. But then you're like me, you're stuck because it says, what did you do well? What are you good at? How could you improve? I don't really have anything else to add, Mr. Thank you very much. Okay, I'll give it a spot. I was extremely impressed by two things. One is that you did have the normal speech. You had an opening, you had 3 parts, and you had a closing, and you fit within the time frame. Having not fit within the time frame recently, I know that this is a challenge when it's a part that you want to talk about more, but you did that. So well done. As a longtime Toastmaster, sometimes that's the hardest thing to do, just to sit down. Well done. The other thing you did, and you're a teacher, this is what your trade is, this is what your nature is. You showed us, you made me believe as a beginning student with not a good photographic eye that I could do that. I could do that. And that is what a teacher does. And thank you. So the part that I was really impressed with was the fact how you seamlessly, and you need to do this in another speech many times for me probably, you move from showing photographs, suddenly now we're looking at your iPad and we're seeing it. And there wasn't this, hold it, I'm sorry, seamless. What could you do better? I just can't even imagine. Usually we can think of something, but I think you were impeccable. I think you modeled Toastmaster, the summit, the peak today. Thank you so much. Mr. General Evaluator.
Excellent evaluation. Thank you so much, Pam. You did a great job. Now evaluating Mary Helen is going to be Randolph Bestine, our president. Mr. Bestine.
Thank you, General Evaluator Tom Quinn. I am Randolph Bestine, and thank you to distinguished Toastmaster Mary Helen Day. As Toastmaster Pam Scrimsher said, man, this is going to be a hard one to find anything because this was a very impeccable speech. Awesome topic, public announcements. It definitely kept me guessing where we were going with this. And you started off with a joke, which was really good, and the joke fit the speech perfectly. And that's very witty, very smart. I love that. Clarity, you're clear. And as far as the gestures, you have, it's like, it has, like Paulo like to say, as far as the hand and the you have awesome gestures. Like, if just be, this Zoom thing is like you're very expressive in everything you say. Like your pauses, they're awesome. You'll shake your head. You even like you'll on one part there was the teeth, like, it's just awesome, the face gestures. Let's see. There, like I say, this was an impeccable speech, so there was not much that I could say at all. But I guess if I have to pick something, which I personally think is a little unfair because we're on Zoom, it's a little brighter on one side, the lighting, which, like I say, I think that's a little unfair because of this Zoom. It's hard to get the lighting perfect, but it was a great message, inspiring message as well. So, and I hope, I'm looking forward to, and you even had a follow-up, like a speech that's keeping us, now we're going to stay on our toes, and we're looking forward to hearing the next speech so that can get those tips on inviting people. And I think we probably should talk about that a lot more. Like you say, even including myself, I often wonder, like, oh, do I want to, tell someone, hey, we're going to be here at 7 o'clock, and then, are you crazy? I get that, but I need to do it either way. We all should do it. So that's awesome. Thank you for that. Thank you for the encouragement. And we're looking forward to the next speech. Thank you. Back to you, Tom Quinn.
Great job, Randolph. Great job. Mary Helen's speech was well put together. Both of them were just impeccable, inspirational, and instructional. Truly were. Chris, I don't know if this would be a good time to play the part we were talking about. The timing. I'm not done yet. And if this would be a good time for us to play the icebreaker speech that we discussed at the beginning.
I can certainly do that if you want. It's a
Please.
6 minutes.
It would fit.
This is a icebreaker from Kip. And
So Chris, could you comment a little bit? Because some of us did not go to the memoriam. So a little,
well, okay, at the memorial, lots of people were able to get up and talk and give little stories about Kip. And when I got up and talk, I said that I'd really kind of like for Kip to give his own story. And we have links to these direct speeches of his. And here is one that well, let me just play it.
Another icebreaker. Please welcome distinguished Toastmaster Kip Barkley.
Hello, Toastmasters. Thank you. I have hit age 77. How did that happen? I'm gaining on Carmine. I just don't really know quite what happened to me, but here I am, and it seems to have worked out pretty well so far. In case you're wondering, I have escaped early onset Alzheimer's. I'm too old to get early onset Alzheimer's or anything else that's early onset. So that is a fine thing. Being self-employed, no one can tell me when to retire. I have 2 clients left, and well, they're entertaining and they have very old equipment and no one else would put up with them. And so I will help them. And others, when I go away for a month and someone explodes their office, they're all upset and they find someone else to go bail them out. So I am losing people because I just don't want to be bothered. I go away for a month. It's nice. It's nice. Well, let's see. Things are pretty good. Until age 45, I worked for big companies and I did the IRA thing and all that. I've had no failed marriages or disastrous business ventures, and the stock market went up. So things are pretty good. It may yet crash, but that's later. I did give some money away to a church building fund and to some grandnieces who might have a problem with college. But now I figure I'm tapped out. So if anyone else needs money, forget it. I'm tapped out. I'm just where I am. Well, in 1990, I started self-employment. It was certainly entertaining, but no way to get rich. Running around being a computer guy who makes house calls. They have gone the way of doctors who make house calls now. That is an obsolete profession, but I enjoyed it way back when, and I met a lot of strange people, and it gave me a lot of flexible time. I liked that. Well, what else is going on? Christine survived cancer. She's doing good. We both survived COVID so far, knock on wood. We are rattling along. So someone in my place does not do bucket lists. I tend to do in-game stuff. I am like looking around my house and my storage unit. Where are things that I will never look at again? I will never do this again. Why don't I admit that and throw this stuff away? You ever cleaned out somebody else's house after their untimely passing and found all the ale? Don't do that to your friends. Let me see, what else have I done? We now have a keypad lock on our front door. Yes, I can call the rescue squad and say I've fallen and I can't get up. And then if I'm really good, give them the number so they don't have a committee meeting outside my door deciding what to do while I die. So that would be very good. I like the keypad lock. Very handy. One less thing to carry around. Now, I sit back and savor past events like a fine wine. And when you're savoring past events, it's all in the math. I can get myself really depressed looking at a lot of things and some choices, or I can say, and feel very good about many, many things. It's my choice. It's all over. I choose to savor and do positive addition. I recommend that to others. Do. Well, we wonder where we will live someday. We have stairs, 2 sets of stairs here, and they are exercise. In fact, the only exercise I do. And until they try to kill me, they are my friend. And after that, we'll have to decide where to go. Now, I could live in a cave and be happy. Wife Christine is fussier, so she will have much to say about where to go, and I will just toddle along right behind her. As long as I have my man space, I've got to have a space that can be full of clutter and the crap I refuse to let go of. I really need that. I realize it's a psychological need, and it's a guy thing. The rest of the house can be spotless. I need my piles and mounds of stuff. Let's see, traveling. We have been doing traveling around the country. We go visit the grandkids. That's a wonderful thing to do. International travel, that's more difficult. We talk about going to China, talk about going to Vietnam. I want to go to China before they are my overlords and I have to bow to them. Yes, it'll be much more comfortable if I could just be their buddy when I get over there. In Vietnam, I spent so long trying to avoid that place. Actually trying to go there now feels weird, kinky. I just don't know about that. But I just recommend getting on with the end game and just getting rid of the clutter. Oh, I can't let go of some of this stuff. It's my treasures, but some of it's gone. I'm still here, though, and that's my story, fellow Toastmasters.
What a great job, and I'm glad we fitted in with the regular evaluations. We're going to evaluate Kip and your heart. Timing report, if I could have the timing report, sir.
Yes, sir, Mr. General Evaluator. Pam Scrimsher, 2 minutes and 49 seconds. Randolph Bastine, 2 minutes and 52 seconds. Both qualified. Please vote.
All right. Please vote. And now is the time for reports. If I could have the grammarian report, Val?
General Evaluator, everyone used the word impeccable. Several people used it 2 or 3 times. Words or statements that stood out. Marie Rock, if we love people, we will feed them. Anna Elson, I jumped from a sky lift. Polio Baroni, comparing use of words to a printer's palette. Becky Jo Bean, my childhood wish is to be invisible. Alita Richmond, I highly recommend being spontaneous. Pam Schritt, okay, I'm not sure I'm saying your name right, Pam. In reference to Chris Gould's speech, she made me believe that I could do this. Chris Gould, I didn't take a photo, I made a photo. Mary Helen Day's appeal and her joke of the public service announcement in hell. Those were outstanding statements. And then Polio's statement that we have the power to impact people's lives with our words. Okay, thank you, General Evaluator.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Val. That was great. Now, Alita, the counter. You have your adding machine going.
Yeah, I know. I'm adding up here. Mr. General Evaluator, Toastmasters. You guys are so excellent. However, I was trying to hone in on my listening skills a little bit better than usual. Our topic master, Jim Gould, had a double clutch on the. Marie, God, she was like perfect. How impeccable. Anna had a double clutch, the. Val used one Becky Jo, one Pam used a couple of ands that were not necessary. Randolph, he used a lot of double starts here. That's your, you, so. Mary Helen, our DTM, I was really listening to Mary Helen intently. First of all, I like to hear what she has to say, but I wanted to see if she would make any kind of errors that struck my nerve. And here's what I found. Mary Helen, I think that you use the connective word and too many times in your presentation, connecting your sentences. You can put a period at the end of one and start a new one without the and. And also you used well 2 times that I thought was unnecessary because your content, you don't need to have those connective words. You lead us right down the path. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much. That was an excellent counter report, and you didn't pick any ahs for me, so I guess I skated. The ice was thick enough to hold this old man up. I'm going to evaluate the meeting relatively quickly. We opened on time. The invocation was great. The pledge was wonderful. The introductions I thought were flawlessly handed off by Randolph, picking one person after another. Table topics, what a great idea. Either this or that. That's a choice between Scylla and Charybdis, as they would say. The quality of the speeches, absolutely perfect. Both of these, what great, wonderful. The evaluators were superb. Randolph, you're doing so well. You handle all of these tasks so well. I'm so pleased that you are at the head and directing our club. The Toastmaster, wonderful job, Paulo. You bring a aura of enthusiasm and encouragement and insightfulness that is really difficult to really surpass. And I'm handing the meeting back to you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator Toastmaster Queen. Thank you. A great meeting indeed. And Keep Barkley video was indeed the peak of the meeting today. Wow. It's time to hear who won for the best performance in each of the sections, starting with the table topics. The winner of today's table topics, Toastmaster Pal Gray. Congratulations. Let's move now to the best evaluator, which today is Toastmaster Randall Bastille. And last but not least, best day is BTM Day. Congratulations to the winners. And yes, here at Toastmasters, we like to compete. We like to win. We like to get in those awards, the ribbons when we met in person. But at the end of the day, the real competition is not between you and another Toastmaster. The real competition is between you and you. It's not about you being better than another Toastmaster. It's about you being a better Toastmaster tomorrow than you are today. That's the real competition. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a pleasure, it was a privilege, it was an honor to be the Toastmaster of the day to serve you today. Grazie, arrivederci. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Such an awesome energy. Always, as always. Yes, and great message as well. Thank you so much. Before we wrap things up, do we have any announcements that anyone likes to make? Any announcements? All right. Thank you all for another great meeting. And this meeting was truly impeccable. Set us up for another week. And for our speaking of another week, should we try to fill some roles?